Dale Davis will jump it against Patrick Ewing. Steve Jabby, Bob Delaney, and Bernie Fryer, the officiating crew tonight. Charlie Ward controls. He is joined on the floor by Larry Johnson, Charles Oakley, Ewing, and Allan Houston. Entry pass to Oakley, and Chris Mullin is on him, and Mullin picks up a quick foul.
Well, you can see that was a play designed for the first play of the game. Chris Mullin is guarding Charles Oakley. Jeff Vun Gundy has decided we're going to try to take advantage of that and put Oakley down in the post, something I'm sure Indiana is thinking they're not going to do much of.
It's Mark Jackson, Chris Mullin, Dale Davis, Rik Smits, and Reggie Miller on the floor for Indiana. Penetration from Allan Houston, and the first basket goes New York's way.
Well, Allan Houston has played great in the first 3 quarters, and Jeff Vun Gundy has made it a pact with him tonight that he's going to get him shots in the 4th quarter.
Entry pass into Smits. Little jumper in the lane. Rik Smits off the mark with his first shot. Now Charlie Ward kicks it left side to Oakley, and it's rejected by Mullin. Mullin switched on to Oakley, and you like that defensive move. Here's Smits with a rebound.
Yeah, I do. I think it puts Dale Davis or Antonio Davis on Larry Johnson, which is a better matchup for the Pacers.
Charlie Ward picks up Mark Jackson. Chris Mullin. Quick catch and shoot, 2 for Indiana.
Well, I talked to Chris Mullin before the game, and he said, listen, the only way I'm going to stay on the court is I have to score. Otherwise, I'm a defensive liability, and I want to play.
Mullin, who had a big game in the overtime win in Madison Square Garden on Sunday. Mark Jackson, Reggie Miller.
You don't know how good that pass was. I mean, that was right on the mark. Either Reggie Miller catches it or Allan Houston steals the ball.
Pick and roll Ewing. Ewing left open the rotation. Dale Davis. They kick it back outside. Here's Chris Mullin. Kicks it back to Reggie Miller. 6-2.
Well, this is the exact start that Larry Bird wanted. I think Jeff Vun Gundy expected the Pacers to come out tonight and have a flurry early. He said we have to take that hit and then play basketball.
Whistle and a foul called away from the ball. Foul on Dale Davis, his first, team second.
Well, the Pacers are out running early. They want to get as many easy shots as possible, as does the Knicks. And the other reason they're running is because of turnovers. And that is a problem with the Knicks in this series. They have really struggled turning over the ball.
Throughout the 1998 playoffs, Jackson averaging just under 10 assists per game and had 15 in the overtime win. None more critical than the little touch pass he threw to Reggie Miller at the end of regulation.
Yeah, and even better than that, he gets the assist, but he does not get turnovers, and that's very important.
Only 10 turnovers in the 4 games played thus far in this series, including 1 game that was error-free. Here's Mullin with a drive after Houston's basket. And this will be a foul against the Knicks, Larry Johnson.
See, I like what Chris Mullin is doing. He's saying, well, Larry Johnson is bigger than me. I can't guard him, but I am quicker than him, and that's what he's doing. His ball fakes are just amazing. That's the ball swing right there. It gives him room. Now, people always ask, if a guy has a ball swing or a guy who ball fakes all the time, why does it still work? Well, because he can shoot the basketball. That's why it works.
Mullin misses with that one. Here's the run from the corner. That's for 3 for Chris Mullin.
Wow. He's putting it up tonight.
9-4. That last foul, as you saw in the replay, should have been credited to Patrick Ewing and was, as a matter of fact. So Ewing picks up his first. Another New York turnover. This has been an Achilles heel for this New York team the last couple of years, and in this series, it's really been harmful.
Well, Jeff Vun Gundy said he thought that they had corrected the problem this year, but obviously going by this series, they have not.
Averaging 18.5 turnovers in the 4 games against Indiana. Smith.
Well, that's a great example what we were talking about in the opening about the rhythm and balance of Patrick Ewing. Coming back, I think offensively is easy, defensively is much tougher.
Indiana run, a 20-second timeout call by the Knicks.
Now, I want you to take a look here at Patrick Ewing and Rik Smits. I mean, that's just loss of balance, loss of rhythm, giving Smits an easy shot.
Jeff Vun Gundy chatting with us this morning about Patrick Ewing, and you and he were saying that defense is reaction, and that's where the timing is really lost when you have the layup he did.
Yeah, it really is. On offense, it's easy because you can control offensively if you're struggling not to get catches, not to get touches. You can take yourself out of the offensive sets. You can't take yourself out of defense.
Now let's check in with Brian Burwell.
Thank you, Vern. You know, Larry Bird really didn't want to have that Coach of the Year ceremony because he thought it was going to be just another distraction. He was really concerned about a letdown or complacency. Reggie Miller told me, he said, you know what, I would rather us be on the road because we're more focused. By the way, Derrick McKey, who missed Game 4 with that quadricep injury, is suited up, and he is expected to play tonight. Back to you, Vern.
All right, Brian. Patrick Ewing face up against Rik Smits. The help comes from Mullin. And the foul is going to be called underneath on Chris Mullin, his second.
Well, you know, early in this game, you can see Indiana coming out with the pressure defense. Really got it up. I think the tempo, and I think, you know, Larry Bird receiving that award helps you also emotionally. What you have to worry about is letdown, and Larry Bird is exactly right. And not let down early, let down at halftime, third quarter.
Well, Derrick McKey getting the call early on now for Larry Bird. And Chris Mullin, having picked up his second foul, will sit down.
Well, I think he was going to come in early anyway. He wants to make sure that McKey stays loose. You're loose when you warm up and you get cold when you're sitting on the bench. Larry Bird wants McKey in the game as quick as possible.
And over for Patrick Ewing, but the offensive board. Charlie Ward with the penetration kicks it out for Houston. And Allan Houston, that's only the 6th three-pointer he's taken in the series, and he's hit 3 of them now.
Well, they've made him a driver. That's one of the things they said they were going to do going into this series.
Allan Houston with 7 points. Here's Smits. Left open. Can't get in that shot.
Oh, Patrick Ewing never saw the ball. I mean, he's trying to fight his way through the pick and never picked up the basketball.
6-point Indiana lead. Nice entry pass. Allan Houston from Ward, but he's too far into the basket. And now here come the Pacers.
Allan Houston just wasted a great pass from Charlie Ward.
Ward picks up Jackson. Miller comes off a couple of screens, creates great space, and then misses on the three-pointer. Here's Charlie Ward. Allan Houston, Jackson's back. The runner gets the roll and drops through. Wow.
He did everything he was not supposed to do on that break. He did not use the board, goes straight up, leaves early, too early, and the ball still goes in.
Allan Houston with all 9 New York points. Mark Jackson gets 2 at the other end. The Pacers back up by 6. 15-9, midway through, or almost midway through the first quarter. Charlie Ward splits the 2 defenders, Dale Davis and Mark Jackson. And it's called on Jackson.
I mean, take a look here. You see the pass, and watch Allan Houston. Goes up, basically off the wrong leg, off balance, makes the shot. That's called soft touch, Vern.
Now Oakley will inbound. Charlie Ward, Patrick Ewing sets the pick, got free. They come right side. Here's the three-point effort. Got it. Larry Johnson.
See, this is exactly what Vun Gundy wanted. Take the hit early. You know, emotionally, Indiana would be in the game. They were. They took the hit, and they're only down 3.
Jackson takes Charlie Ward all the way with a scoop shot. It's good. Back to a 5-point margin at 17-12. Ward Smits the switch. Nice entry pass underneath. Johnson is fouled. Well, Jeff Van Gundy wanted his team to get to the line, and they are early on.
They are going to the line. Allan Houston is the real reason, but the passing of the Knicks is the reason the Knicks are going to the foul line early in this game. They have one guy on the bench, and that's Chris Mullin, but the guy they always have to worry about is Reggie Miller, and not just his shooting. I think his ability to go to the free throw line, get guys in foul trouble, and they say they don't want to give him open shots. Reggie Miller has figured out the easiest way to get an open shot is shoot an open free throw.
29 times to the line. Here's Larry Johnson as New York is in the penalty now. Only one team foul against the Knicks, so Indiana's going to have to wait a while. Johnson shoots one more.
And further on Reggie Miller, what Jeff Van Gundy does not want to do is bail Miller out. He has the ability to drive to the lane and at times not really look to make the shot, just look to draw the foul. And he's trying to get his players to pull away and make him make that shot.
Mark Jackson with 4 assists already. Midway through the first quarter, gets it in the hands of Miller. They kick it left side, Derrick McKey. Now Oakley fronts Rik Smits. And there's a loose ball. 5 on the shot clock. Back in the hands of Derrick McKey. Shadowed by Oakley. Shot short. Smits with an offensive board. And a fresh 24 for Indiana. Jackson directing Smits and Oakley fronting him. And this one's taken away by Charlie Ward, followed by Jackson. Nice reverse layup from Charlie Ward.
Yeah, and great defense by Charlie Ward and Charles Oakley. Charles Oakley fronts Smits. Charlie Ward puts the defensive pressure on Mark Jackson. That's what they have to do.
Ewing now guarding Dale Davis. There's another little runner from Mark Jackson.
Well, that's the second time that Mark Jackson has used his quickness to get around Charlie Ward. And I guarantee you, Van Gundy does not like that.
I can see your eyebrows go all the way up.
And Mark Jackson would be real happy to hear that we're talking about his quickness in this game.
Ward from Ewing. Long rebound in the hands of Jackson. Now alley-oop underneath. And Dale Davis makes a nice adjustment, comes down and goes back up.
6 points, 5 assists already for Mark Jackson.
A 5-point Indiana lead, 5:08 to go in the opening quarter. Pacers lead it 3-1. Here's Allan Houston. Now he's in double digits in the first quarter.
Well, what I'm amazed at, he had the first 9 points, and then he didn't see the ball for a while. If it's my guy, I'm going to milk him.
Houston 5 of 7. McKee can't handle the pass from Jackson. Now the little finger roll, and Ewing takes it away. Here comes New York. Allan Houston. Right side for Oakley. Pass underneath Larry Johnson, guarded by Dale Davis, and now they'll come back to the half-court set. Johnson, isolation play. Smits comes back to help. Patrick Ewing, travel.
Now take a look at Charles Oakley. This is called the bump and grind defense of Charles Oakley. And all he wants to do is front and push Rik Smits off the paint or away from the paint.
Chris Childs getting ready to come in for New York. 4:22 to go. First quarter of play. Ewing comes out. Dale Davis. 17 feet away. It's about 14 feet beyond his range. From the corner. Reggie Miller has that shot.
And that's the spacing that Jeff Van Gundy was talking about. You can't allow a great shooter space. He doesn't need much room, and just by moving, Allan Houston, that little space is the reason Miller makes that shot.
Time called, New York.
This is what we're talking about, spacing Reggie Miller and Allan Houston. I want you to take a look. This is how great shooters like Reggie Miller get shots. Now watch right here, and watch Allan Houston right here go to help out on Rik Smits. And that little bit of help right there gives Reggie Miller enough room to get the shot off. You can't forget about Reggie Miller.
It's a phrase comparable to down goes Frazier.
Yes.
Don't leave Miller. Something Chris Childs let slip at the end of the game in the Garden on Sunday.
Yeah, he did. And that was almost instinctive, too.
Yes.
You help, but you can't help off Reggie Miller.
Antonio Davis is on. Here's Charles Oakley. Chris Dudley also on the floor. And a loose ball foul called underneath on Chris Dudley.
Well, you almost didn't have enough time to get his name out before he committed his first foul. You knew he was going to come in and foul, but we didn't know it'd be that quickly.
John Starks also on the floor. So Childs, Dudley, Starks, Houston, and Oakley for New York. Here's Derrick McKey in the lane. Nice little turnaround jump. Hook is good.
Well, they want to take Allan Houston off Reggie Miller. The problem with that is now Allan Houston is guarding Derrick McKey, and Larry Bird loves mismatches, and he will use that.
Miller on John Starks into the corner for Oakley. Pump fake. Drive by Oakley. Rejected by Antonio Davis. Had 2 huge blocks Sunday against Larry Johnson. And Antonio Davis will go to the free throw line.
I think he's been the most valuable player in this series. I know Reggie Miller gets a lot of the credit, but it's been Antonio Davis' force that has led the Indiana Pacers. I mean, he is jumping all over the place. That is a great block shot. And then he runs the floor and gets it back on the other end.
Gets the first of 2. Rebound Houston. Indiana by 9. 3:05 to go, first quarter of play. Houston got it.
Wow.
Ooh.
That is a nice shot.
He didn't have a lot of room.
Well, you're talking about creating space.
Holy cow.
That's creating space.
Cuts the margin to 7. Allan Houston 13 points on 6 of 8. Miller guarded by Starks. Here's Derrick McKey. Allan Houston on him. McKey, Dudley, and Oakley saves it for New York. Now here's John Starks, left wing. Crowd responding to Starks handling the ball. Starks, nice penetration in the scoop shot, no. Rebound, Antonio Davis. Reggie Miller, skip pass. Derrick McKey passes on the jumper. And we'll work on Allan Houston now.
This is why you like Larry Bird as a coach, because he sees right now, he says, McKey's bigger, I'm going to McKey. That gives McKey all kinds of confidence. 3 times in a row, they've gone down to the post to Derrick McKey because Allan Houston's guarding.
At the other end, Allan Houston with 2 more.
And he's punishing him back on the other end.
And the Knicks climb within 5, 1:45 to go now in the opening quarter. Mark Jackson posts up Childs, kicks it out to McKey. And he drives on Houston again. Too strong, Davis. Loose ball. And Dudley grabs it for New York.
So that's now 4 times in a row they've gone to McKey. The problem 1 for 4.
Starks for 3.
Jeff Vun Gundy raised his hands like 3-pointer. He was not happy with that shot. But once it went in, he was, yes, good shot, John.
John Starks in this series is now 13 of 27 from downtown. A 7-0 New York run. And we've got a minute to play in the first quarter. Miller, Dale Davis. Jackson from way outside. And way off the mark, ball's on the floor. Shot clock violation. It did not touch the rim, and then was on the hardwood.
You want to see a great shot and a great move. Watch the behind-the-back dribble. That little dribble gave him enough room to get the shot off. On this one, I don't think he had much room. He just decided, I'm feeling it. I'm going to shoot anyway. Now, that's great defense. Better offense.
Allan Houston has not had a stellar series against the Pacers. He's hitting 39% from the field, but he's hit his last 5 shots here in the first quarter. Starks, 40 seconds to go. Here's Allan Houston, and again McKey picks him up. Off the dribble, the pump fake, the adjustment to the air, and the putback, no! Basket interference.
Yeah, now I don't know if the interference is on Dudley. I think Charles Oakley grabbed the rim, and I think that's what they're calling the basket interference on. Let's take a look here. See, Charles Oakley's grabbing on the rim, and that's what they called the interference. Dudley's thinking, I thought I had a good tip. Well, he did.
And we're now told that the game clock has malfunctioned. So we'll have a little huddle.
You can see the Knicks, that little 5 or gap right there is because they're looking at the scoreboard, 27-25. Really, only guy offensively for the Knicks who's played well so far is Allan Houston. They're only down 2 points.
Chris Mills has checked in now for Allan Houston with 39.3. They've reset the clock and apparently have the problem fixed.
Well, Jeff Van Gundy, one of the things he said about Allan Houston, I'm going to start treating him more like a superstar. And you can see what he's doing. He's looking, 39 seconds left. Take him out now. Give him a rest for 2 minutes. Bring him back in. He wants him fresh in the fourth quarter.
And it has been the fourth quarter that has been a dilemma for Allan Houston in the 4 games in this series. 30 seconds to go. Reggie Miller underneath. And Oakley's going to get tagged for this one.
Well, you know what Oakley was doing? He was boxing out because he thought Reggie Miller was going up for the shot. Took his eyes off the basketball. And watch Reggie Miller come off this pick. He comes off the pick. Charles Oakley thinks he's shooting. He's boxing out already.
And picked up the foul. 25 seconds to go in the quarter. Largest lead, Indiana up by 9. And then a 7-0 New York run. Miller and Chris Mills. A pacer hit the deck. And Oakley gets the foul. That's his second.
Well, usually if a pacer hits the deck and Oakley's standing around, it's probably because Charles Oakley did something. And you're going to see here, he's going to just basically pull him down. Right there.
Antonio Davis, who's hitting 61% at the line in the series. Oakley picks up his second. Davis gets one with one more. And Allan Houston's going to check back in for the final 5.7.
And he's coming in now because there's 5.7 seconds left. Who best on the Knicks can get his own shot? Allan Houston. And that's exactly why Larry Bird is bringing in Jalen Rose.
Well, it was a quick burst of energy from Indiana. They jumped out to a quick lead, and Allan Houston has led New York back to within 3 at the moment. 2 of 2 for Antonio Davis. Allan Houston hustles up. Derrick McKey picks him up. Houston, little runner at the gun, not there. We have reached the end of 1. Allan Houston has kept the New York Knicks within shouting distance. They trail by 4. 3 to play, and the Pacers are up 29-25. 29-25, the Knicks 11 shots for Allan Houston. His first quarter has not been a problem in this series.
No, he's played well in the first quarter, but the 11 are the most. What you need to look at is quarter 4. 8 shots in the 5 games and 4 games, and that's a problem. That means 2 a quarter in the fourth quarter for him, and that's a problem. They want to get him more shots.
You're using that math background in Marquette again, aren't you?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, huh? not bad. John Starks is called for the foul.
Well, physical play is not just for big guys when you talk New York, Indiana, also for the little guys.
And Travis Best, one of the little guys, is on the floor now. Backup point guard. Here's Antonio Davis, blocked by Patrick Ewing, who played 8 minutes in the first quarter. Here's Best. Long range, no. Childs chases it down. And here comes New York, 29-25. Opening moments of the second quarter. Childs and Mills joined by Starks, Ewing, and Larry Johnson for New York.
Well, bench play, basically both teams have their bench in game 1. Indiana Pacers, the bench was great, but since then it's been the Knicks who've had the advantage on the bench play. And that's right when John Starks went to the bench. Then you had points coming off.
It was in that game 1 when New York jumped out to a 31-13 first quarter lead. The bench came on. They were within 2 at the half, and before the game was over, the 4 men off the bench had outscored New York in that game 56-20.
What I like now is what Jeff Van Gundy is doing. He's playing Patrick Ewing with the bench. Right now, Patrick Ewing has no shot attempts in this game. He's going to put him in with the bench so maybe he can get some offense.
Chris Childs throws that one away. 6 New York turnovers to only 2 for Indiana.
And 5 turnovers have been unforced errors on New York's part.
Antonio Davis into the lane without success. Childs. Mills spots up left side. Underneath, Ewing. Knocked out of bounds by Derrick McKey.
Well, that hand is a magnet. Every time Patrick Ewing has a chance to score, they're going to attack. They had a 5-on-4. You look at the numbers here. When I think that's McKey goes down, or Antonio Davis, you can see the numbers and didn't take advantage of it.
Off the inbound play, New York scores quickly. It's Chris Mills from a foot away. And 29-27, 10 to go in the half. Travis Best had a brilliant game one and kind of subpar performances since then.
Well, really, because Mark Jackson has played so well, Travis Best has not had an opportunity to get on the floor.
McKey, tough defense from Chris Mills. And here come the Knicks, John Starks. He'll pull up and launch, I'll guarantee you.
That's the best time to take a three-point shot.
At the other end, Pacers. Jalen Rose for two.
See, I don't think John Starks, Chris Childs, or Charlie Ward can guard Jalen Rose. He's just too big.
Now Best picks up Childs. Jalen Rose has Starks. Mills looks for Ewing. Well, Patrick goes down. Shot missed badly. There's Best at the other end. Antonio Davis. Clean block. Here's Starks. Nope. Jeff Vun Gundy staring a hole through Starks.
Yes, he is. And the game right now is just wild, out of control. And the reason, because you look at the offensive players on the court from both teams, there really isn't a go-to offensive player if you say Patrick Ewing is out of rhythm because of injury.
Rose, touch pass, Travis Best got it. Inside the arc, that's for two. The lead is 6. Starks, nice pass to Ewing. And Dale Davis puts Ewing on the deck.
Oh, they're going to challenge Patrick Ewing every time he has a chance to go to the bucket. They're going to hard foul him and make him use that hand.
Shots tonight, the distribution, well, Allan Houston with a dominant number of shots.
Yeah, but I think the guys you need to look at, those two guys, Patrick Ewing and Larry Johnson, only 2 shot attempts, 4 between them.
Patrick Ewing at the free throw line after the foul from Dale Davis. Ernie Grunfeld, Dave Checketts, New York Knicks.
We're trying to figure out a way to get this thing back to Madison Square Garden.
Payday.
Yes.
Another game in the Garden. Off the miss, back to Childs. Here's Larry Johnson. Mullin back on, playing with 2 fouls. Offensive foul, Larry Johnson.
Well, right when Chris Mullin came back in the game, Jeff Vun Gundy saw that matchup. He is guarding Larry Johnson right now, tried to take advantage of it.
7 turnovers now for New York. 5-point Indiana lead. Back it goes to Smits, who has trouble handling it. Now Jalen Rose. Taken away by Chris Childs. Childs leaves it for Johnson. Kick it outside. Starks for 3. 1 for 5 for John Starks tonight.
And that's cause for concern because 4 of them have been wide open shots.
Another turnover and numbers for the Knicks. Starks underneath, got it.
Well, that's
nice
a good way of getting back on.
Yes.
I don't know if Chris Childs thought about that when he threw him the pass, but it was a smart decision.
3-point Indiana lead. Jalen Rose at the point. Chris Mullin followed by Starks. Back to Jalen Rose. They've got Chris Mills guarding Rose. Johnson battles Antonio Davis, who goes in the lane and puts it in.
He is playing with so much force. It's noticeable. In a game where both teams are physical, the one guy who stands out is Antonio Davis.
5 points now for Antonio Davis, and back to a 5-point Indiana lead. Ewing picked up by Smits. Fake goes back to the line.
Well, they wanted to go to the foul line, and it's been Patrick Ewing who is getting them to the line.
Smits with a foul.
But before Ewing goes to the line, time has been called. 6:49 to go in the half. Half months on the injured list. Rusty in game 2, Doc.
Yeah, didn't play well in game 2. Had very little rhythm, missed shots, lost the ball. Game 3 really picked up his play burn, started making some shots offensively, and did a good job doing the other things. And I thought game 4, the back-to-back games killed him. The fatigue factor settled in. He missed shots. And defensively, Rik Smits had a huge game offensively on Patrick Ewing.
Playing in his 4th game back tonight. For the first 3, shooting at 48%, and back at the free throw line again tonight for New York.
Now, who leads the Knicks in free throw attempts in this series?
Oh, way to set me up. I think it probably surprisingly would be Ewing.
It is. He's missed 1 game, and he has more free throw attempts. That's why Jeff Vun Gundy wants to get to the line more.
Patrick Ewing before tonight was 14 of 19 in the 3 games, but having some problems at the line tonight.
And that was the other thing Vun Gundy said. The other thing we have to do when we get there are make the free throws.
4 of 8 tonight. This one's going to go against Antonio Davis.
Well, I can tell you Antonio Davis is not like that since he's the guy on the floor. I think both guys got tangled up, and it probably should have been a no call if anything. That's what Larry Bird is thinking. He's wondering, wait a minute, my guy's on the floor, and he gets the foul.
Childs, Houston. Houston trying to shake Reggie Miller. Chris Childs, Patrick Ewing is open, and Smits gets back in time to knock it out of bounds.
Well, the problem is you had enough time to say that. That means you saw it before Chris Childs, and that's a problem. He was open about 5 seconds on that play.
4-point margin for Indiana. Hard pick on Miller leaves Houston open, and he cans it. Patrick Ewing with a terrific screen.
You know what Jeff Vun Gundy has done well? He uses Patrick Ewing to set the picks on Allan Houston to get him open. Now, if that's Chris Dudley, Rik Smits leads and helps. When it's Patrick Ewing, because of reputation, he stays home.
Smits, little muscle, over Ewing for 2.
He's better when he puts the ball on the floor against Patrick Ewing. I know he's used to just being on the post, doing the turnarounds. Patrick Ewing right now is not quicker than Rik Smits, and Smits has to use that advantage.
Houston in the post. Nope. Mark Jackson for Indiana. Here's Mullin. 1 hop. Mills back defensively. And a nice defensive job by Chris Mills. Here's Childs. Underneath Larry Johnson. Too strong. Out of bounds. Knocked out of bounds by Antonio Davis.
I want you to take a look at the screen here. Watch Patrick Ewing set this pick. And you can see Rik Smits. He kind of stays home. If that's Dudley, he's running at Allan Houston's shot.
Johnson in the corner to Chris Mills. Blows by Mullin. Takes it off the glass. Nice shot. And it's a 2-point game again with 5:20 to go before the break. Chris Mills, 4 points. 2 of 2 from the field. Now Ewing front Smits.
Yeah, you can see on that last play, I think Larry Johnson's going to get this.
And Johnson takes it strong to the basket. And we are tied with 5 to go in the half.
Larry Johnson showing some speed.
7-2 New York run. Rik Smits. Reggie Miller. Good job by Childs to knock it loose. Miller, though, gets the rebound, tracked down by Smits. Yes.
Boy, 2 times on that one play, the Knicks did 2 good things, and the Pacers got the ball back.
Smits is 4 of 5, continuing the fine play that sparked the 4th quarter come from behind on Sunday in New York. 14 points in that 4th quarter for Smits. Here's Ewing over Davis, short with the shot. Mullin rebound. Jackson for the Pacers. And he backs Ewing into the post. Or rather, Childs. Got the roll.
Well, you can see the 2-point guards, Jalen Rose, Mark Jackson, are just too big for the Knicks point guards.
41-37, 3:46 to go in the half. Allan Houston. Nope. Smits rebound. Jackson for Indiana. Right back at him. Take a look at Larry Johnson defensively for the Knicks.
Well, the Knicks right now defensively are doing great. And the speed of Larry Johnson was almost shocking on that play.
Now Charles Oakley back on for New York, and Patrick Ewing heads to the bench. Reggie Miller back to Smits. Oakley picks him up. Jackson, beautiful pass.
What a great pass. He just laid it out there. Before Reggie Miller was there, the ball was waiting.
Six unanswered for Indiana with 3:10 to go in the half.
Watch how he uses his hands to free himself. Two great things on here. Pushes Chris Childs into the screen, but then Childs' recovery, fighting through the pick and getting his hands on the ball. Those are two great plays, offense and defense.
Miller with a total of 9 tonight, 5 on Houston, none on Childs, and 4 on John Sparks. 3:10 to go before the half. Game 5. Market Square Arena. Indiana with a victory tonight will advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. The Knicks need a win to send it back to Madison Square Garden for Game 6 on Friday night.
Well, Chris Mullin said they cannot go. He said there's a bunch of angry people in New York, and we have to avoid that at all costs.
Reggie Miller picks up the foul. Third team foul against Indiana. Well, some of those angry people from New York have made their way here.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them in the crowd tonight, which is amazing. And Spike Lee being one of them.
A guy named Spike Lee is here. Promised he would be for Game 5. There's the nice pass from Oakley. And a great block from Antonio Davis again.
Every time he comes into the game, he does good things, the little things.
Back to Antonio Davis. 2:40 to go before the break. Jackson. Right into the hands of John Starks. 9 Indiana turnovers now in the first half. Starks back to Oakley. Allan Houston. That's knocked out of bounds with 12 on the shot clock. And let's check in with Brian Burwell.
Well, Jeff Vun Gundy is as tired as you are of talking about getting posted up, his little guard getting posted up. He is switching John Starks on to Mark Jackson. That last play down there looks like Charles just got caught in the wrong position.
Wow. Allan Houston on the inbound play.
So did Reggie Miller on that play. He was caught in the wrong position. Yeah, Doug Collins told me, and I still don't believe it, but he said that Allan Houston has a better vertical than Grant Hill.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think Doug would tell a fib to me.
No, he would not. Jackson in the lane.
The passing.
Dale Davis.
It's beautiful to watch. It's really nice that he's finally getting credit for his floor play. He's one of the best of all time, and really no one really knows that. He has great eyes.
And already in the first half, 8 assists. Alley-oop at the other end, Houston underneath. Nope. Antonio Davis with a rebound.
Well, you know the difference there is that pass led Allan Houston into taking a tough shot. Mark Jackson on the other end, his passes lead to great shots.
Jackson off the dribble. Spin move, kicks it out to Miller over Starks.
Yes. That's a great example. Thank you, Mark.
It has been a 10-2 Indiana run. Starks guarded by Mullin. Here's Oakley. Skip pass to Chris Childs. Jackson's out. Little runner off the glass is good.
I like when he's more aggressive offensively, Chris Childs. I like him even more in Game 4 when Jeff Vun Gundy put him in at the 2-guard spot. Then he's a creator. Instead of trying to create for other people, he's creating for himself.
Here's Jackson. Oakley takes it off the rim and kicks it out to Allan Houston. Allan Houston blows by Mullin, finds Ewing short with a shot. Mullin, Ewing misses another.
where they're trying to get Patrick Ewing off.
Coming up, the Nike halftime report. Back to our Atlanta studios. Ewing is zipped for 5 tonight. Miller over Starks. Chris Childs. Nice pass. Oakley. Got it.
Well, the shot's going to count, and then there's going to be a foul on Patrick Ewing. He definitely pushed Mark Jackson. I don't know if it was a push or a flop, but it was a pretty good one. You can see it at the bottom of your screen. You'll see Mark Jackson. Now let's take a look. I don't know, man. That's pretty close.
Picky, huh? Off the top of the glass. And we've reached halftime. Mark Jackson has helped propel the Pacers to a 4-point halftime lead at 47-43. Kenny Smith, P.J. Brown join EJ in our studios. And Cheryl Miller will have a report on George Karl after Seattle's loss.
You're leaving a shooter open.
Smith's 5 of 10 from the field. Into double digits now. Charlie Ward for 3.
No, he is uncanny. It doesn't look like he takes a lot of them, but when he takes them, he makes them. He made a huge three-pointer in the Miami series in Game 5.
Smits back to Mullin. Takes the quick jumper after the pump fake. Misses, and Ewing rebound. And New York with a chance for its first lead since it was 2-0. Allan Houston, the dish, and the Knicks are up on Johnson's basket.
But the move, the dish was nice, but the move to set up the dish was sensational.
Knicks by 1. Johnson on Jackson. Reggie Miller in the post, guarded by Allan Houston.
He's the best. Reggie Miller is the best in the league at drawing fouls. And this is what I talk about. If you're going to trap Reggie Miller on the pick and roll, if Rik Smits is setting the pick, Patrick Ewing has to get there a little quicker, which is tough to do.
Jackson in the lane, puts it up and in.
How about that? Oh, you put Larry Johnson on Mark Jackson so he won't post up. What does he do? He posts up. He goes down and scores anyway.
10 to go, third quarter. Here's Ward. Allan Houston with 19 first half points. Ewing on Smits, takes the jumper, no.
But to me, that's his best shot. Whenever he's moving or dribbling the ball, he's not handling the ball very well. He's a spot-up shooter right now, and that's the best way to get him shots.
Nice entry pass from Reggie Miller. Smits misses, and Dale Davis gets the rebound and draws the foul.
Well, if you don't think Reggie Miller has the Knicks concerned, 2 guys just left. Rik Smits wide open because Reggie Miller was coming off a pick.
Larry Johnson called for the foul, his second. That's the second Knick team foul of the quarter. Reggie Miller off the mark. Rebound Ewing. Knocks his own man down, Charlie Ward. 24-17 rebounding edge. Overall in the series, New York with a slight edge, but not dominant. Here's Houston kicking it out for Oakley. Back to Charlie Ward as the shot clock gets to 2. And the rebound in the hand of Dale Davis.
That was a shot he had to take.
Johnson on Jackson. Mullin guarded by Charlie Ward. And Mullin will post him up. Oakley, rebound, New York.
That's why I like the switch. Chris Mullin, yes, he can post you up, but it's not something he's used to doing.
Johnson with the misfire from New York off the Oakley pass, and it stays 51-50 as we go under 8.5 in the third quarter. Davis. Another miss by Indiana, and rebound Patrick Ewing.
But you just saw the difference when Rik Smits sets the pick and you trap, and when Dale Davis. When Dale Davis sets it, they don't care if he shoots the jump shot. You see the ball fake he had? No one jumped. They were like, go ahead.
It's a little different when it's in Mullin's or Miller's hand.
Oh, my.
Larry Bird, overwhelming choice as coach of the year. 51st place votes. Jerry Sloan of Utah second with 29. Mike Fratello third. Here's Allan Houston, 8 on the shot clock. Works on Miller. Too strong. Tip from Ewing is good.
Great defense by Reggie Miller on Houston, challenging the shot. Everyone took their eyes off of Patrick Ewing.
Jackson again picked up by Johnson. Here's Mullin over Ward. Another miss. Ball knocked out of bounds by Indiana.
Well, Mullin's 0 for 2, but he's getting the shots. Check out Patrick Ewing here. Everyone is so consumed with these two guys you see in your picture that they're forgetting guys like Patrick Ewing. No one put a body on him.
Jackson picks up Charlie Ward. Pick and roll with Ewing. Now Ward back out to Oakley for the jumper. Nope. Rebound, Jackson, Indiana. Mullin at the other end. Missed it, but there was Reggie Miller.
Well, the Knicks really didn't get back on defense.
I didn't think so.
Wow. In an elimination game, you can't have any of those.
Speaking of elimination games, here's Ewing. And the shot not there for Patrick Ewing. 53-52. This is the 6th time in the 90s these two teams have played in an elimination contest. And the Pacers have won only one of those. Here's Miller for 3. Deadly!
Yeah, I think Jeff Van Gundy's going to have to call a timeout soon. It's not a big lead, but you can see it slipping a little bit. And the last 2 plays were not great effort defensively from the Knicks.
Underneath. Ball is out of bounds. Johnson touched it last. If it's Wednesday night in May, let's play 2 in the second game of the doubleheader in Chicago as the Bulls try and close out the Charlotte Hornets tonight at the United Center. That's game 5 in that series with Chicago leading the Hornets 3-1.
Well, the key is let's play. You just hope Charlotte shows up to play. That last game was unbelievable to watch, how Charlotte in that third quarter really stopped playing basketball.
Pacers lead by 4. Here's Chris Mullin. Gets back outside. Rik Smits. 5 on the shot clock. Jackson off the dribble. Into the lane. And Oakley clears it for New York. Houston. Johnson's down. Allan Houston. There's a turnover. Tries to split the difference, and Smits picks it up.
Well, not a smart decision to try to split that, but he really lost the ball before he tried that. Another unforced error by the Knicks.
9th turnover from the corner.
Reggie Miller is slowly creating space. You know, we talked about that space in the first half. I thought the Knicks did a tremendous job of challenging his shots. In this third quarter, he's been getting open looks.
Reggie Miller goes to the line. See the guard comparison this evening. Miller 26 of 29 at the line coming into the game, but Antonio Davis was the only Pacer at the free throw line in the first quarter. John Starks enters the ball game for Larry Johnson now from New York.
Well, Jeff Van Gundy right now is thinking this is a replay of this entire series. Allan Houston gets off early. Reggie Miller gets off late. I think if he had his choice, he would rather switch that around.
And the lead is 6 now, 58-52. 6 unanswered, 7 unanswered for the Indiana Pacers. Starks. Pick and roll with Ewing, and here's Allan Houston. Patrick Ewing. Oakley there, can't handle it. Taken away by the Pacers as Dale Davis grabbed it.
See, Bert, I think he's having trouble handling the ball. And that time he had the 4 and 5 dribbles. I think it's throwing him off rhythm, and he's really struggling when he tries to go up with the shot.
Jackson posting up Charlie Ward. Back to Smits, who's left open by Ewing. Nope. Saved by Jackson. Here's Smits again. They kick it underneath. Ewing picks up his third.
Well, this is exactly what Jeff Van Gundy said could not happen. They could not be out-hustled. He said something very interesting this morning. He said the Pacers are a better team before the ball's in the air, meaning they're better shooters, they're better rebounders, and they're better passers. So once the ball's in the air, we have to dominate. We have to get all loose balls, all the offensive rebounds. And so far in this second half, it's been all Indiana.
And the bonus for the Pacers is Dale Davis at the line getting the first of two. 1 of 2, that's about his season average.
Yeah, I was thinking this second does not have a good shot if you go by averages.
Now there's that Marquette math class again. 4:35 to go in the third quarter. Allan Houston, a quiet third period. Miller comes with defense. Oakley, Starks, shot clock winds down. Charlie Ward pump fake. Puts it up, no. And here's Reggie Miller, Mullin at the other end. No goaltending call, but Miller spots up for three.
Look at this. They are going for it right now. They smell closure, and they're going for it.
Jackson back toward down. Ewing comes to help. That leaves Smits open for the jumper.
Indiana, this is the dilemma that Mark Jackson causes because he's so big down on the post. Now watch him here right on the post. This is the problem. You don't want to leave here because that's Chris Mullin. Here is Reggie Miller down here, and here is Rik Smits. The trap guy is Ewing. He does not want to trap. The Knicks don't want to, but they have to, and when they do, this is what happens. Rik Smits, open jump shot.
That's 10 unanswered for Indiana, and they equal their largest lead of the game. Up by 9 with 3:49 to go. Third quarter. Mark Jackson has spotted the friendly face, and it doesn't belong to either Dave Checketts or Nick Grunfeld.
Not right now. And you know what great shooting and a post-up game will give you? It'll give you open shots. If you have the post-up game, you have to trap. If you have open shots, you don't want to leave the open shooters. It is a dilemma for the Knicks.
Starks. Dudley's on the floor now. Here's Chris Childs. Left side for Oakley. Back to Childs. Childs gets it out to John Starks. Pump fake, backs up for three. Blocked by Reggie Miller. Then Dudley, shot clock violation. Reggie Miller with the block.
The energy right now from the Pacers are overwhelming the Knicks. It's unbelievable. You're watching the Pacers look at that score, look at the time, and sense that they have a chance to knock the Knicks out, and they're going for it.
Saw that rebounding edge offensively. A 10-4 edge for Indiana tonight, and 5 in this quarter. Here's Mullin. Rik Smits. Now Oakley has him. Doesn't matter. First double-digit lead of the game. Smits has 14.
Well, they're playing like the team with the pressure. They're playing right now like they're more desperate. And Dick Harder told me before the game, he says, Doc, we have the pressure. We don't want to go back to New York.
Starks cans a three.
He's taking one of those shots from Jeff Van Gundy. Doesn't want him to take, but he makes it.
It sucks the breath away from the crowd for the moment. And it's an 8-point game. Chris Mullin. Here's Smits again. Works on Dudley, takes the shot over him, and Starks comes out for New York. Miller gets back. Starks, 2 more.
You know what? This morning, John Starks says if it comes to it, and I have to take over the game, I will. Now, I know he'll try, but you don't know if he will. Right now, he is. He's doing it.
John Starks suffered for the last 2 months of the regular season, but has played well in this series. Here's Mullin. There's an answer.
That's poor defense. You don't close on Chris Mullin, he'll kill you.
Houston. Reggie Miller, and it's going to be Allan Houston. That's 3 on Houston.
Well, this is the second time that Reggie Miller has done a nice job guarding Allan Houston on the post. I think for Allan Houston to get him off, the Knicks are going to have to figure out a way to give him a live dribble so he can face the defense.
Well, Doc, we played more than 10 minutes third quarter. Allan Houston has 1 shot in the quarter.
And with Patrick Ewing struggling from the offensive end and Allan Houston struggling, there's no way the Knicks can win.
Antonio Davis, it's on the floor, and Johnson saves it for New York. Here's Starks. And Oakley late getting back.
And John Starks not very happy about it. He wanted a pick.
Larry Johnson. Fade away, yes.
Well, he took the words out of my mouth. Larry Johnson did. My next response is going to be he has to be the next guy.
Final minute, third quarter. Here's Jackson. My goodness. And finds Antonio Davis. There's the dish, and the shot is good.
Mark Jackson is dissecting the Knicks right now.
Childs, nice run.
I'm surprised he doesn't do that more. He does have a quickness advantage. You know, if I'm playing and if a guy is killing me on one end and I have an advantage somewhere on the other end, I'm going to try to use that advantage. That's a smart play from Chris Childs.
Jackson's going to go back to it again. Nice dive for the ball, but out of bounds. Childs went for it.
And you just watch Mark Jackson. I mean, this is a sensational pass, and it leads to this drive and another great pass back to Mark Jackson. The Knicks don't want to double team Jackson because he sees the court so well. But you talk about it, if you have an advantage, right now Mark Jackson has that size-wise, but you have a quickness advantage, you have to take advantage of the quickness. Avery Johnson on the Spurs does that better than anyone. Yeah, they'll abuse him sometimes down on the post, but he'll come back the other way with his quickness and use that as an advantage. I think Chris Childs and Charlie Ward have to do that.
Jackson tonight, 12 points, 11 assists. And 2 on the shot clock. Lifts it up? No. Gets the offensive board and is taken away by Childs. 5 seconds to go in the quarter. Childs for Starks. Blocked by Reggie Miller. What a play. Second block in the last 2 minutes as he flew by. Miller with the block. We have reached the end of 3. A 10-0 run has helped Indiana Arena Game 5, Eastern Conference semifinals. For Lundquist, Doc Rivers, Brian Burwell with you. Allan Houston with a big start for New York tonight. That has been the story of the series for Houston. You see the dropping number of shots sequentially in quarters, where you get down to the fourth quarter, he's had only 8, and tonight the pattern has followed.
Well, Jeff Vun Gundy said the reason is if he has a quick start, then the other team adjusts to that. He must get better on using his position away from the basketball, find ways of getting himself open. He can't always just take people off the dribble. The defense will take that away.
Back it goes to Oakley. That one knocked out of bounds, tipped last by Indiana.
Well, he used Michael Jordan as a great example. Vun Gundy did. He said, Jordan can score in so many ways, coming off the pick, post you up, off the dribble. He said, right now, Houston needs the ball in his hand, and he has to get better.
Starks in and out. Loose ball, chased down by Larry Johnson. And a fresh 24 for New York. Allan Houston, 1 shot, third quarter. Larry Johnson, guarded by Antonio Davis. Taken away by Antonio Davis. 3-on-2 Pacers. Best. Antonio Davis, the foul is called on Starks.
Well, you know, Jeff Vun Gundy said the Pacers are better before the ball's in the air, and they must dominate when the ball's in the air. Right now, the Pacers are better both ways.
Antonio Davis will shoot 2. And he gets one more.
Well, you look at Antonio Davis, and he has been terrific in this series, not only with his force. Besides Reggie Miller, Antonio Davis is second in going to the free throw line in this series. That tells you how hard he's playing.
Now Travis Best on with Derrick McKey, Reggie Miller, Antonio Davis, and Jalen Rose for Indiana. Here is Allan Houston, and Miller is right there. Jump stop in the lane, puts it up and in.
Well, again, though, he needed time. He needs time. He has to get the ball, have a live dribble to score. If he's struggling, I think that's what the Knicks are going to have to do. Maybe they don't want to do it, but they have to do it if they want points out of Allan Houston.
Now Best looks for Reggie Miller. Doesn't find him, and the ball taken away by New York. 11 Indiana turnovers from the corner. John Starks. Guarded by Best. Nice pass underneath to Larry Johnson. And he will go to the line to try and make it a conventional three-point play.
See, the Knicks are right back in this game. And, you know, when the Pacers were making the run early in the third quarter, and I said they were going for it, I looked up at the clock. It was 4 minutes left in the third quarter, and I was thinking, you want to go for it, but, boy, they better get it. Because if they don't, and they let this team back in, then they're in trouble.
10:25 to go in the game, and New York is clawed back to within 3. Patrick Ewing sits, having a tough night.
But the thing Jeff Van Gundy didn't do when Patrick Ewing started to struggle in Game 4 is sit him. I think he learned this lesson, and that's why he said Ewing will be back in this game.
McKee goes underneath to Antonio Davis, who is fouled, and he'll go to the free throw line again. Third foul on Larry Johnson. Davis shooting 2.
Once again, Antonio Davis back on the line.
With another opportunity.
When he missed, I heard this cheering, and I turned around, and Spike Lee and 2 other guys. A crowd of 3.
When it gets quiet, they become noticeable.
Yes.
Larry Bird up off the bench. Demeanor continued quiet as usual. A 4-point margin. Underneath. Beauty. Oh, boy, what a pass from Childs.
What a pass. Okay, I believe Doug Collins now because that took great athleticism to dunk the basketball. I would have been in traction.
9:44 to go. 2-point game. Jalen Rose. Houston guards him. Isolation for Rose, goes baseline, knocked out by Larry Johnson, but Best controls for Indiana. 5 on the shot clock. And underneath, the pass not there for Reggie Miller. New York with a chance to tie or reclaim the lead. Giles, spin move. Strong move. And a foul away from the ball called on Derrick McKey. Watch the pass, Childs to Allan Houston.
I mean, this is a great pass, and this is when you like Childs doing these things. He passed it right on the dime, and the finish. Backwards dunk from Allan Houston, the shooter.
Tonight's Dutch boy in the paint. Points in the paint. Pacers have an edge of 4 offensive rebounds tonight. Big edge for Indiana at 11-5.
Yeah, and in this series, it's been the Knicks who've done a better job offensive rebounding-wise and rebounding-wise. But Jeff Van Gundy said you can erase all that. All the key rebounds have gone to the Pacers.
First of 2 tonight. Coming up after this one, we go to United Center in Chicago. Game 5, the Chicago Bulls and the Charlotte Hornets, with the Bulls leading in that series 3-1. 9:15 to go in regulation. Oakley. Chris Childs, Travis Best out with it. Here's Chris Mills on the floor now for New York. He's guarded by Jalen Rose, who fouls him.
Now, it's interesting. Allan Houston just scored 2 buckets in a row. Jeff Vun Gundy sits him down on the bench. I think that's an interesting move. You know, he said he got himself into a dilemma in Game 5. He set him down. The other guys who were in his place, and I think it was Charlie Ward, was playing so well, he didn't know when to bring him back in. And he said he might have waited too late. I disagreed. I thought he did the right thing. Those guys were playing so well, he had to ride it. I will say that he will not sit long in this quarter, Allan Houston.
Vun Gundy said Sunday afternoon he kept looking at Allan Houston sitting on the bench. Then he'd look at the clock and think, now?
Yes.
No, not yet. And Mills gets 1 of 2. It's a 1-point game. 9 to play. Travis Best guarded by Chris Childs. Larry Johnson out on Antonio Davis now. Here's Reggie Miller with the entry pass to Rik Smits underneath, and the foul is called.
It is so loud in this building, you can't hear the whistle.
Oakley picks up his third, team third. Smits shoots 2.
Well, I was going to say, putting Charles Oakley on Rik Smits is a huge gamble. The reason Charles Oakley can fight him off the post, but Rik Smits is so tall, and all he needs is a little bit of space to get that jumper off. He's not like Alonzo Mourning, where you can fight him and Alonzo has to get back to the basket to score. Rik Smits is a great jump shooter. That's why Patrick Ewing is coming back into this game.
Smits tall as in 7 foot 4 inches tall. That's up there.
Yeah. And he has a high release then, I guess, huh?
Smits gets 2. The lead is 3. Now Travis Best with a little backcourt pressure on Chris Childs. Childs and Starks, Chris Mills, Larry Johnson, and Patrick Ewing. Starks. Larry Johnson. Reggie Miller on John Starks. Beautiful play by Starks.
He fumbled his way all the way to the basket.
8:20 to go in regulation. Travis Best finds Reggie Miller. The return pass to Best, and Childs is out defensively. Jalen Rose looks in toward Smits, where Ewing is guarding him. 5 on the shot clock. Best underneath. And Antonio Davis is going to go back to the free throw line.
Every big rebound the Pacers get, and that is a big one. And look at this last play by John Starks. 1 guy has a chance to take it away. 2 guys, 3, 4 guys had a chance to stop John Starks, and he still made the shot.
Davis gets the first. Now 6 of 9.
And that's a big rebound. The Knicks played defense well for 23 seconds. Antonio Davis got that rebound with 1 second left on the shot clock, but only made 1.
1 of 2. The lead is 2. Starks and Miller. John Starks goes baseline, but before he can take a shot, a foul is called. Reggie Miller picks up his second.
Boy, he was fortunate because Rik Smits was there already. I don't know where John Starks would have gone if this foul wasn't committed by Reggie Miller. I mean, take a look here. Once he puts it on the floor, there's not a lot of room. You can see Rik Smits right there.
Starks, Smits, and Miller out on him. Larry Johnson for 3. No. Ewing with the putback. Got it.
See, I like what they're doing. Patrick Ewing is really not involved in the offense. They're telling him, if you want to score, you get some rebounds, you set picks, and we'll give you a jump shot. I like that.
New York trailed by 11. They've crawled back to a tie. Underneath. Davis.
Great position. Antonio Davis back. Patrick Ewing under the basket.
Crowd tries to will them on. Larry Johnson. Ewing throws it to the Pacer bench. The New York Knicks have stumbled badly in the fourth quarters of those games, but Doc, that has not been the case tonight.
Well, if you're shooting poorly from the field, what should you do? You should take the ball inside, and that's exactly what the Knicks have done in this fourth quarter. They've done a terrific job of attacking the basket. 4 layups for the Knicks already in this final period, and I think that's key.
Chris Mullin comes back on the floor now. Allan Houston has helped this Knicks team to shoot 5 of 7 in this quarter. It's Mark Jackson picked up by Chris Childs. Smits, Antonio Davis, Mullin, and Reggie Miller for Indiana. Pacers by 2. On the switch, Smits takes the jumper. No. Loose ball taken by Larry Johnson.
Nice help defense on Knicks. They did get to Rik Smits that time. Set a pick, but someone was there when he caught the ball.
Starks. Back it goes to Johnson. Patrick Ewing calls for it and gets it. Ewing kicks it out for Allan Houston. No. Loose ball picked up by Reggie Miller.
See, that's when you have to go to the floor, Vern. Allan Houston had a chance to get that ball, except for all he did was bend down. You have to go for the floor if you want to stay in this series.
Antonio Davis. Reggie Miller. Here's the entry pass to Smits. He goes baseline on Patrick Ewing.
If you want to know where the Pacers are going to go with the ball the rest of this game, you just saw it. Rik Smits.
Echoes of the fourth quarter of Game 4, Sunday in the Garden, when Smits had 14. Here's Allan Houston. The help comes, the rejection from Antonio Davis again. He had 2 marvelous blocks at the end of Game 4. He has 3 blocks tonight. Here's Smits again. Back it goes to Jackson. Allan Houston is going to get tagged for the foul. That's his 4th.
Can you be the MVP of a series with really not scoring a lot of points? Yes, Antonio Davis. Block shots, key rebounds, playing with force. He's the spiritual leader on this team. I don't know if he was going into this series, but he will be after this series is over.
Jackson has 1 more, but Vun Gundy calls timeout.
You know Mark Jackson wants to dance so badly right now, but he knows it's too much time.
22nd timeout called by the Knicks, who face elimination with a loss tonight. 5:01 remaining in regulation. And coming up, Game 2 from United Center in Chicago. The Bulls go for another ring, and they take on the Charlotte Hornets in Game 5. They're up in that series 3-1. Again, Anthony Mason and the Charlotte Hornets get it back together tonight. And Utah and the Lakers will play Game 1 in their best-of-7 Western Conference Finals Saturday on NBC.
I think that's going to be a great series. I think for the first time in the playoffs, Utah is going to try to slow the tempo down. If you watch Portland and Seattle, they tried to run with the Los Angeles Lakers, and I think that's almost impossible. And Shaq has been a man, but the key guy, Eddie Jones, he's stepped up.
Mark Jackson has a triple-double tonight. 14 points, 11 assists, and 10 rebounds. Starks, no. Ewing. Reggie Miller with a look of disbelief, but the foul is called on Chris Mullin.
I think they all have the look of disbelief. You're going to see why in 1 second. Well, I think that's a good call. They obviously did not see Rik Smits with the chokehold.
Ewing is is now 2 of 8 at the free throw line.
Really struggling.
Jackson, Childs. Back to Jackson. Rebound, Ewing. Knicks trail by 6. Childs takes it strong to the basket. Out of bounds off Childs. Pacer ball.
Hey, I like the thought. Chris Childs got to the basket, but instead of trying to draw the foul, you have to make the basket.
Nearing the 4-minute mark, the Pacers lead by 6. Reggie Miller looks for Smits again. From the corner, no. Another time, no. Rebound, Childs. Left side for Allan Houston. And Allan Houston is going to go to the free throw line.
But guess who's there?
Yep.
Antonio Davis. I thought Allan Houston had a clear path to the basket, and you won't see him till the last minute, but he gets there every time. Antonio Davis, wow. The Knicks just dodged 2 bullets down on the other end, and both shot by Reggie Miller.
That's the first free throw tonight for Allan Houston.
Well, that means he's shooting a lot of jump shots. Or either that or he's beating this guy so badly that he's getting wide open dunks.
2 for 2 with 3:50 to go. 4-point Pacer lead.
I think it's a miracle that the Knicks are still in this game, because I think Indiana has played a better game, and they played with more force.
They're going to get Starks for shoving Reggie Miller.
And see, that's like giving up a layup, because putting Reggie Miller on the free throw line is not a good thing. And you'll see the push. He's just trying to avoid the pick. And flop school for Reggie Miller.
Miller 3 for 3, goes for his 20th point. Back to a 6-point edge. Childs and Johnson and Ewing and Houston and John Starks trying to avoid elimination and see their season come to an end. Indiana trying to advance as these two teams meet in the playoffs for the 4th time in the 90s. Starks. That was for 3. Jackson clears it.
That was not a good shot. There's 3.5 minutes left in this game. You don't need to force threes. Watch how patient the Pacers will be.
Here's a familiar sight. Jackson in the lane, going to his left. The foul call before the shot.
Mark Jackson is punishing the Knicks guards.
Knicks are 5 of 12 in the quarter. But here are the Pacers back at the line.
Yeah, they waited until the 4th quarter to get to the line tonight. The Knicks dominated going to the line for 3 quarters, but in the key quarter, it's been the Pacers.
Mark Jackson has earned a niche in the Pacer record book. The first Indiana Pacer to ever register a triple-double in the playoffs. Time call. But the New York problems in the 4th quarter. Look at the last few trips down. Antonio Davis.
Well, you see a block, you see a missed layup, and then you'll see a bad shot by John Starks. These are not the shots that you want to get if you're the New York Knicks. Down the stretch with 3 minutes left, trying to survive.
Knicks have missed their last 5. The lead for Indiana is 7 with 3:08 to go. And Mark Jackson back at the line in the 4th quarter. And here is where Indiana has had a decided edge in this series. In the 4th quarter, Indiana is 10 of 13 at the free throw line. Well, if you need the net straightened out, call upon a guy 7'4", and he just, it's like he was hanging his coat up.
Windows clean, second level, call Rik Smits.
Right. Eight points. Patrick Ewing sets the pick. Larry Johnson kicks it in the corner. Childs. Back to Houston. Ewing. Throws up the prayer. Smits was there.
Great defense once again from the Indiana Pacers, forcing the Knicks into their 5th straight bad shot.
No possession, very small one.
1 second on the shot clock.
Well, remember the last time Allan Houston got a layup.
Ewing.
No
Wave
good.
it off.
Shot clock violation.
Antonio Davis will inbound for Indiana with 2:44 to go. Jackson followed by Childs.
So right now the clock is on Indiana's side, and they're going to take their time scoring.
Back to Smits. Again, Larry Johnson. Smits.
2 seconds on the shot clock.
Games only on TBS. Knicks in the 4th quarter have drawn the donut their last 7 trips down.
And you would like to blame the Knicks offense if you're a Knicks fan, but it really is Indiana's defense. So they are doing a terrific job. Again, they're sensing that they have a chance to close this out. They've been going for it for now a quarter and a half, and it looks like they're going to get it.
Allan Houston, no. Mark Jackson, another rebound. 12 rebounds for Jackson. And the Pacers will milk the clock. 2 to go. Listen to the roar of the sellout crowd in Market Square. And Smits hits another.
Mark Jackson.
Ewing silences them momentarily. Now Antonio Davis, who's joined on the floor by Reggie Miller. Patrick Ewing goes for the ball and gets the foul. That's 4 on Ewing.
Well, that's the guy they're trying to foul. They're trying to put Antonio Davis on the free throw line. He's the worst of the 4 guys on the floor, so they're trying to put him on the line.
Remember 8 days ago, Rik Smits in game 1 was 3 of 19. And Larry Bird kept going back to him, and you said he's going to do it because the guy won't keep missing.
Yeah, and you know what? Larry Bird is why the Pacers are going to the Eastern Conference Finals, by keeping Rik Smits in that game and continually going to him and feeding him. Great, great series by Rik Smits. Especially the last 2 games, Bird.
Larry Bird came out of Indiana State and went to a Boston Celtic team that prior to his arrival had won 29 games. The next season they won 61. And a year after that, they won the first of their championships with Larry Bird in the lineup.
Well, what has he done? Rookie of the Year, 3 MVPs, championship trophies. The only thing he has never done is win an NCAA championship. He probably will go coach in the NCAAs at some point and try to get a ring there. He liked that.
Finally a smile.
That long. He caught himself.
Johnson at the line. for Ernie Grunfeld and Dave Checketts and the New York Knicks, and Patrick Ewing and Jeff Van Gundy completing his 3rd year. They can only wish for the emotions of Larry Bird.
Yes. But I think Patrick Ewing should be applauded. You know, he's going to get a lot of grief. He knew that, trying to come back, but he still did it anyway. I wish we had more players in the NBA like that. Jason Williams, Patrick Ewing, putting on the line even though they're injured.
Foul on Allan Houston. Charles Oakley, the old warrior. This New York team lost Patrick Ewing on December 20th. They played the next 63 games without him. They got by the Miami Heat in 5 games in round 1 as a 7th seed, becoming the first 7 seed to beat a 2. And there is one of the class acts in the NBA.
Yeah, Jeff Van Gundy is one terrific guy and one terrific coach. You look at this Knicks basketball team. When Patrick Ewing went out, I said, well, that's it. They will not make the playoffs. They made it. When they made the playoffs and played Miami, I said, well, that's it. They're not going to beat Miami. They beat them. And quite honestly, and I told you this, when they came into this series, I said, well, that's it. And it is, but they showed the heart of a champion, and so have the Pacers. I think this Pacer-Chicago Bulls series is going to be one for the years.
Game 2 coming up, 84 seconds of playing time from now. That'll be the Chicago Bulls hosting the Charlotte Hornets. Second game of our doubleheader, Game 5 from the United Center in Chicago. And after that game, join Damon Stoudemire and Vince Cellini back in our studios for Inside the NBA. All the scores and highlights from tonight's playoff action. Get the tractor ready. Well, it was Reggie Miller who, prior to this series, said, I like our little team of Hicks against the New York Knicks.
Well, they did it. And you look at this series, and it came down to the 2 cities who thought they invented basketball. And I guess for right now, Indiana has the bragging rights.
Here's Allan Houston for 3. Got it. 1:16 to go. And that cuts the margin to 10. 28 points for Allan Houston.
Yeah, and you almost don't want to count the Knicks out because stranger things have happened in the series between these 2 teams, but it's usually Reggie Miller administering the pain.
Larry Bird signaled a timeout needed for his team. And so they take the 20 with 1:13 remaining. There's Donnie Walsh.
Besides Jerry West, he's right up there. You know, no one ever talks about Donnie Walsh. You know what he did?
He said he knew Larry Bird was the guy he wanted.
Well, superficially, he means that he watched them torch the Pacers for years, and he decided you can't beat them, have them join you, and that's what happened.
Huge hurdle now for the New York Knicks. They down by 10, and Indiana's Chris Mullin inbounds it. Loose ball. Here's Starks. Charlie Ward. Kick it outside for Chris Childs, in and out. And Jackson gets another rebound for Indiana, but then he's fouled. 13 rebounds for Mark Jackson.
Yeah, Mark Jackson can shimmy, dance, and do whatever he wants from this point on. You know, we keep saying against the Bulls have not won that series yet.
Right.
But 3-1. I like their chances.
Yeah, I do too. Here's Jackson back at the line. 91-81. How about these numbers? 17 points, 13 assists, 13 rebounds.
Well, you know what they're thinking. They never should have traded him. The problem is they traded him for me.
Yes, he went from New York to the Clippers, and you said it was what?
It was a great day for me. But right now, I don't know if they agree with that.
Another three-point attempt. Tip, control. Johnson gets it in. And we have 50.5 remaining in regulation. The margin is 10, and another timeout called by Indiana. They have a 10-point edge, and they're 50.5 seconds away from going into the Eastern Conference Finals. Coming up as soon as this one's in the books, that'll be Chicago and Charlotte. This one is close to being in the books. as this sellout crowd, a knowledgeable crowd at Market Square Arena, stands and applauds as the Pacers come back on the court. It'll be Chris Mullin to inbound. Jackson, Antonio Davis, Rik Smits back on the floor now with a 10-point edge. And Ewing comes over to guard Mullin. 50.5 left. Reggie Miller. Miller, foul by Patrick Ewing.
Oh, if you thought Reggie Miller was going to pass the ball, you're crazy. He's going to hold the ball. He's the best free throw shooter. Well, actually, he's not, if you can believe that. Chris Mullin is a better free throw shooter than Reggie Miller, but both of them are great. And that's the two guys you want to keep the ball in their hands.
Yeah, Miller's not a bad plan B.
No, he's not.
6 for 6, 7 for 7 tonight. Patrick Ewing is on the bench.
Reggie Miller's 33 for 36 in this series. He's shooting pretty well from the free throw line. And Chris Mullin is perfect.
It was until Sunday. Remember,
yes,
he missed two?
He missed it too, yeah.
We all went into shock. He was hitting 94% of the season. Exactly. Miller gets two. 46.1 to go. 95-83. Indiana's going back to the conference finals. First time since 94. It was Houston underneath. And he's got 30 tonight.
But he got him late. He got him real early, and now he's getting him way too late.
Indiana ball. What a rookie season for Larry Bird. Back it goes to Allan Houston. New York. Houston pulls up for three. Nope. John Starks gets it back outside for Houston. Got it for three. 22.6 left in this one. And it's 95-88.
You know what Jeff Vun Gundy is thinking? We're going to foul. You foul right when the ball comes in. You don't let the guy waste 6 seconds on the shot clock and then foul him.
19.1 left.
Well, there's a lot of stories in this game. You think about Chris Mullin and Mark Jackson from the New York area coming back to hunt the New York area team. You think about Larry Bird, small town guy, goes to big city Boston, comes back, returns, does a great job. Some great stories in this game.
Well, you'll have post-game reaction included inside the NBA with Vince Cellini and Damon Stoudemire. That comes after Game 2 of our doubleheader. And Game 2 of the doubleheader will be Chicago and Charlotte.
I'd like to be Stoudemire's agent. What about you?
Oh, boy.
Man, is he sitting pretty. I know Cellini's going to try to take the job.
Jackson shoots one more. (97-88), 19.1 left. Charlie Ward. Crowd up. John Starks takes a flyer. Nope. Jackson is fouled by Larry Johnson. 7.1 remaining. The Indiana Pacers, with their coach of the year, Larry Bird, will wait for either Chicago or Charlotte. I think they want the Bulls.
You know what? That's right. They want the Bulls, and I think that's the difference in having Larry Bird on that bench.
Jackson shooting two. Got it. Well, next week, Kevin Harlan's going to move into this spot. He is a fine young broadcaster, and I want to personally wish him the best. And, Doc, thanks.
Well, thank you. I'm going to miss you. You were a great teacher for me. And I needed to be taught better.
2 great years. And my thanks to Mike Burks, our producer, and Lonnie Dale and the truck, our director. They are 2 of the best in this business. And thank you to all the fine folks at Turner. Congratulations to the Indiana Pacers, Larry Bird. And he walks over and shakes hands with Slick Leonard.
That's
who
great.
led this team in the old ABA days. Bring on the Bulls or the Hornets. Now let's go to Brian Burwell and Mark Jackson.
You know, normally in New York, you're probably the most hated guy now outside of an elected official. How does it feel to put away the team that traded you away?
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank God. The Bible says, touch not my anointing, and I just thank him for using me, taking away all the side antics and just going out and play. It feels good to be advancing, and that's the bottom line. I got to take my hat off to the New York Knicks. They played great, but we're moving on.
You talked earlier about being cautious about not letting these guys sneak up and steal something here. You finally put these guys away in an elimination game. Talk about that.
It was very important for us as a veteran basketball team to understand that they have a lot of character, a lot of pride, and they wasn't going to quit. So it was important for us to take the basketball game rather than having them give it to us.
I've seen a lot of signs around here about forget about Spike, we want Mike. Is that what you guys want?
We want to advance, which we are doing. If it's the Bulls, so be it. They're a great basketball team. They have the championship. They're the world champs. We just want to go out and continue and fulfill our ultimate goal, which is winning the whole thing.
But you want the Bulls. You want that to be the step to get to the ultimate goal, don't you?
No, we want to play basketball. Thank God we have the opportunity to advance and move on.
Let's go back to Vernon. You can go ahead and do your shimmy now.
All right. Okay, Brian, thank you. 22 points, 14 rebounds, 13 assists for Mark Jackson. Pacers win 99-88. Hornets and Bulls